overall you'll have one less bill to pay, and you'll have nutritious food in your fridge to feed you for a week or 2 or 3 or the whole month, you know, and then it's something that's guaranteed and it's coming in every month.
Good evening and welcome to Captions. So glad again that you chose Captions, where we talk about the what, the when, the where, and the why of things going on in Central Illinois. Tonight, I have a very special guest, a young lady who you can see is Brittani Evans. Brittani, welcome to Captions.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, I felt it was very important to have you to clear up many of the misunderstanding, the myths, as well as to share the facts to our viewers tonight on a very important program that many people are participating in, and unfortunately some people who qualify are not participating in because of their misunderstanding. What is your title?
I am the McLean County SNAP Outreach Coordinator.
SNAP. What is SNAP?
SNAP is the new name for food stamps.
Food stamps.
Okay. It stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Some people also know it as a link card. The link card is how it's distributed to people, but the program is actually called SNAP.
Oh, well, that's great. I would imagine with the economic times being as tough as they are, we probably have many people who are now turning to food stamps that would have never imagined themselves participating in the program, and there's probably a lot of people who could participate who don't even realize that they're eligible. Am I correct?
Yes, you are very correct. There is nationwide 33% of people who qualify for SNAP benefits do not participate in them. So there's over $4 million a year going unused in SNAP benefits.
What basically are the eligibility requirements? Is there an age? Is there an income? What are the circumstances under which people can participate?
Well, the primary thing that determines whether or not you're eligible for SNAP benefits is your income. So they look at if you're working, how much you're making, and what your income is based on your expenses. It also depends on the number of people in your household. So it varies from 1 person to 6 people in your household, how much the household income is. Once you hit 60, or if you're disabled, that income is slightly higher than it is if you're under 60 or you're not disabled. So if you're older, you have a little more leeway to meet the qualifications, and that's it. You just have to meet the income guidelines as well as be a permanent citizen for at least 5 years. And those people who are not citizens can still apply for their children as well if their children are citizens.
Okay, well, there's 2 words that I thought I heard you say. Working. Can you actually be working and still qualify for food stamps? You
can. That's a common misconception. You don't have to not be working. In fact, most people who are on food stamps do work. And they base the amount that you get on the income that you get in.
Okay, so if you are working but are low wages and that type of a thing,
correct,
and can still demonstrate the need for assistance. And did I also hear you say that a single person can also? You don't have to have a big family in order to qualify?
No, you do not. One single person just needs to make less than $11.74 gross income a month in order to qualify for SNAP. So if you're working part-time, even if you're working full-time and just not making very much, if you're making less than $11.74 gross, one single person can qualify.
Okay. And this basically is a nutrition program to help families and individuals to meet the nutritional needs that they need in order to have a healthy life.
Correct.
Am I correct?
That is correct. The program only allows you to buy food out of the stores that is not already pre-made. So you're actually welcome to buy anything that you can prepare yourself. But hot foods like rotisserie chicken and soups and things like that are the kind of things you can't purchase. You also cannot purchase liquor or alcohol or any toiletries or dog food or anything like that. So it's strictly for food purposes.
So it's only the food that you have to prepare, not food that's already pre-prepared.
Correct.
Correct? I thought I heard just recently, and you may have heard of it or may not have any comment, but I heard now where some fast food places are trying to become eligible for food stamps. Have you heard that at all?
There has been talk about it. I received an email that some people are looking into doing it, but that doesn't currently, that is not in place.
That is not.
So all I've heard is that people have done talks of it. As far as the state talking about it, I don't know about that.
Okay.
But so far, it's just for fresh food. You could also use it at local farmers markets as well. They will actually, many of the places match up to $25 if you use your link card. They'll give you $25 worth of free food at farmers markets. So it is geared more towards healthy food, not fast food. But I have heard talks about that, but not from anybody that's high up in that matter. Not right now, at least.
I'm just curious. I wonder why you would not be able to already get prepared food, such as a rotisserie chicken or things of that type, or soup already prepared, because I would imagine some people may not be in a position to cook food.
Yeah, that's quite possible, but the purpose of SNAP benefits is to promote nutrition. So we can, the old saying, you know, you could teach a person to fish or you can give them a fish. It's meant to provide food for more than just one meal. It's meant to provide multiple meals to a household. So you can still buy things that could go in the microwave or in the stove or on the stove. So if you can't necessarily, if you don't have access to a stove, most people have access to some type of microwave. And if not, there's always fresh food, vegetables and fruits and things of that nature that you can prepare yourself. So it's meant to feed you for more than just one meal.
Okay. I would imagine then if you're like living in a shelter, you would not be able to get food stamps because you don't have a place to fix it. Okay.
Incorrect. You can still get food stamps in shelters. In fact, most shelters have programs that they require you to sign up for SNAP benefits while you're staying in the shelter. So they have different ways that you can prepare it, either down in a kitchen, or you can just buy stuff that's already pre-prepared or shelf-safe food for your rooms or yourself. But a lot of places actually require you to have applied for certain benefits in order to be in shelters.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you're mentioning many of the things that you're mentioning because, and we are now using what we call a link card. Is that kind of like the debit card that people have?
It's
or a
exactly
credit card?
like a debit card. A lot of people a lot of stereotypes associated with having food stamps, the actual paper form. And quite some time ago, and also to reduce fraud, they changed over to a link card. A link card is used just like a debit card. At most grocery stores, you just swipe it in the same thing that you swipe a debit card in. Each link card comes with its own PIN number, and you use a PIN just like you do a regular debit card.
And you only have so much to spend each month.
Correct.
So if you overeat or overspend, then at the end of the month, shame on you.
Shame on you. Or a lot of people, because even sometimes with the amount that people get, it might not necessarily be enough to last them the month. But a lot of people utilize food pantries and stuff like that towards the end of the month or towards when their benefits are done and they're running out of food. A common misconception is that you can't do food pantries and a link card, but you can. You can have both. So a lot of people, studies have actually shown that people who get SNAP benefits do not go to pantries during the times that they actually have food in the house. And when they do decide to utilize the pantries is towards the end of their benefit period when they actually are out of food.
So it is just as important that they learn how to manage that card, knowing how much money they have on it, as any other citizen who has to manage their paycheck.
That's correct.
I know there used to be criticism, I buying hot dogs and a lady in front of me with food stamps was getting pork chops or getting steak and that kind of thing. I would imagine if a family chose whatever it wanted to choose, it also has to be conscious of stretching whatever money they have on that link card in order to meet that need for that entire month.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad you brought that up because actually studies have shown that people who get SNAP benefits or who get food stamps actually do not purchase any more or less junk food than the average person or any more expensive food. So they actually have the same spending habits as people who are not on food stamps. That's just a common, another stereotype or misconception that people have when studies have showed they don't buy anything more or less different than somebody who is not on benefits.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I think another misconception is that people look at that, and particularly right now since our nation, our state, and everybody else is so much in debt, that they kind of feel like that program as a drain. But from what I understand, it is for every dollar or whatever spent through the food stamps kind of multiplies. Can you kind of straighten that out?
That is correct. For every $1 spent in SNAP benefits, that provides $5 to $9 for your local economy.
Wow.
So if you use it at the grocery store, and every $1 spent provides $5 to $9 for your local economy. And another way I'd like to explain SNAP benefits is that it's not coming straight out of taxpayers' money. A lot of people have that misconception. It's more of a grant is how I like to explain it. It's something that the federal government gives each state, and they give them a certain amount based on how much you're using. So, and also based on error rate and things like that. And Illinois actually we're in the top 3 in regards to errors. We don't have very many at all. We do very well with our SNAP benefits.
Well, that offsets all of this negative political stuff about our governors and that Illinois is all this and all that. But you're saying that when it comes to errors in the food stamp program, we're one of the best.
We're one of the top 3, correct, in the country. And so we do a very good job with that. They utilize, that just means it's being used how it's supposed to be used, and that people aren't abusing it as much as people think. And I'm not going to say there's not people out there who might, but there's actually more people who do not than that do. And they do that, they find that out through random checks and things like that. They will randomly pull somebody and check their assets or check the amount of income that they're getting and the people in their home. And that helps determine whether or not by a certain percentage if the things that they're reporting is accurate.
Okay. And it's not a case of like there's a pie that only has so many pieces and somebody may say, well, I don't want to apply because I know somebody needs it more than me and I don't want to deny them the money because there's only so much that can probably be given in that type of
Correct.
thing.
Illinois, or not just Illinois, but in general, if you use SNAP benefits, if you qualify, then you get it. You're not taking away from any one person. And actually right now, not just in Illinois, but across the country, so many people are not using SNAP benefits that qualify that it's almost like if we don't use it, you'll lose it. So it's definitely something that people need to apply for so that the government continues to give that to the state in order to be utilized. So no, there is many people who are not using it right now. So if you qualify, definitely sign up for it because you're one of those people that are included in that percentage.
Well, tell me this, another misconception or some thoughts people have is that if I have a car, I probably won't qualify. Or if I own my own home, I may not qualify. Although a lot of homeowners are no longer homeowners because of the drastic change that has happened in the economy.
That is true.
So can you have some assets? Do you have to like spend what little money you may have in a bank somewhere in order to get down to a zero? Or
Absolutely not. Assets are actually no longer required to show in order to get SNAP benefits. If you're over 60, you're required to show your assets. Other than that, if you're under 60, you do not have to show your assets. You don't have to show your bank accounts. You don't have to show your cars. You don't have to show your homes. It's kind of like they take what you say as the truth and they determine it that way. Your assets do not determine whether or not you're approved for SNAP benefits. If you're over 60, they do count your liquid assets, but that's it.
Now, we'll explain what is a liquid asset.
Your bank account.
Bank account.
So say that you have $5,000 in your bank account. Okay, well then you may not qualify. However, if you have less than $2,000 worth of liquid assets in your bank accounts and you still meet the income guidelines, then you qualify.
And did I hear you say that if you're under that, they don't ask whether you have $5,000
If you're under it, it does not matter. And that's usually because at an older age, people get more Social Security or retirement money and things like that. So they take those into consideration. However, older people also have a higher income guideline. So for one person under 60, they just have to make less than $11.74 a month. And for people that are over 60, they have to make less than $18.05 a month.
Wow, I tell you. I would assume, do you have any idea what a breakdown is in terms of approximately what percentage of seniors are utilizing it, or families with children or things of that type?
I do.